Hi, I'm Shandy, and I braved the toilet at the Witch City Mall.
They were spooky. Very spooky.
They were beyond haunted.
Yeah, 100%.
Haunted by the demons of syringes past.
Yes.
And poop floors.
Mm-mm. And poop. Oh no.
And all the bloody toilet paper.
Gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, it was real bad.
Real bad. Hi, I'm Craig, and if you are allergic to cats, don't go to the Salem Inn.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and they didn't burn witches, they burned women. And this is Seance with My Siblings, Seance in Salem edition.
Welcome to the Seance.
Alrighty. Let's talk about Salem. Actually,
oh no, what?
we have Paranormal World Update.
Shit, there are some things going on.
There are some things going on. So, in August, that's this month, 2025, a comedian, Matt Rife, and Elton Castee purchased the Warrens' home and occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut, which includes the infamous Annabelle doll.
Yeah, they get to be the guardians of all of the haunted artifacts. Do I wish I had Matt Rife money right now so that I could have had the biggest dick in the dick swinging contest?
Right.
Yes, I do. I don't have that kind of money, and I don't have a dick.
Matt Rife, what the hell, dog?
I read an article, and it says he's, like, super into the paranormal. Apparently he's one of us, and we just didn't know.
I've heard mixed things about this man, so I don't know what my opinion is. And
I've seen
Zach...
his stand-up.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I'm just saying. I've seen, like, some of his stand-up. He's kind of funny. He's kind of handsome.
He's got that going for him.
Yeah.
And he's spooky, so
And he
okay.
has monies, so that's nice for him.
Oh, good for him.
I think life has been pretty good to Matt Rife. I mean, he's pretty controversial. I think he might hate women, or he jokes about it, but I don't know that that's true.
Yeah.
And if you're just making funny jokes, like, that's cool, but I don't really know his personal stuff. And I don't know the other guy at all. Do you guys?
Who was it again?
Elton Castee?
Elton Castee.
Never heard of him, man.
Heard of him. Do we live under a rock?
Yeah.
Some rando.
Some random.
And some terrible news. No. Well, it's not. Zach Goddamn Baggins has merch coming to Hot Topic.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
We were talking about that.
Yeah.
I kind of blocked it out of my mind, pretending it wasn't real.
The Zach merch can't hurt you. It's not real.
If you don't believe in it, then it's not real.
I believe that you believe that the Zach merch is real.
And I believe that he believes that you believe that the Zach merch is real. Okay, anyway.
He'll tell you the Zach merch is real, but do we believe him? No.
No. Shall we talk about Salem? Shandy actually flew out there a day before us. How was your day before us?
We didn't really do... Like, we went and looked at more, like, local spots away from downtown and found water, which was awesome. We looked at a lot of the little architecture there. The houses there are stunning. Just the architecture in the east is so much different than out here. Like, we built out while they built up, and a lot of the structures were wood, where out here everything is, like, brick or stucco or not wood.
Not wood.
Not wood.
Okay, day one for Craig and I, we were flying out. We got in there super late and rolled into our room around 1 a.m. The room was super cute. We stayed at the Cove Inn at Salem.
Oh, it was so cute.
It was so cute.
And the staff there were
so nice.
Lovely. Just enjoyable humans. All tattooed weirdos. Very wonderful.
Rock on.
They were just so friendly and so helpful.
They were. They really, really were. They were so nice.
It was lovely. I would stay there again.
Oh.
10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't even have a themed room. Our room was so pretty.
Your room was
so
cute.
clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We stayed in the Witch's Cottage themed room.
So cool.
So we had like a cauldron table.
That lit up.
It lit up.
It lit
There
up.
were herbs hanging from the ceiling, and like they had
Beams.
like beams
Like
with wooden beams.
Mm-hmm.
Some spiders, a cabinet of like curios, so there was like bats, and on top of it there was a little black cat, and it was very cute.
And
And
the
there was,
Hocus
like-
Pocus book.
Yeah, the Hocus Pocus book. There were I can't think of vines all across the ceiling. It was cute. It was very, very cute.
Would you do another themed room there? Or
1,000%. I think the Enchanted Forest room looks really cute.
Ooh.
And the grotto one, it's like ocean themed. That could be fun.
that could be cool.
But yeah, room was super cute. Tired AF when we got there.
Yeah.
Slept
So
like the dead for a little while until Tilly. Anyways, day 2. This was when we were finally all together, and we started the day at Red's Sandwich Shop, and I had the best pistachio coffee. So Monte Cristo.
I had a Krabby Patty. It was like an eggs Benny crab cake kind of situation. No ham.
No ham.
It was like the crab was kind of fishy. I don't think it was fresh. But the breakfast potatoes, yes. I should have
Their
gotten,
potatoes were good.
Luke got that pancake situation.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
It was
Lucas's
so good.
pancakes were so good. They
The
were
Bavarian like cream.
Bavarian
Bavarian
cream.
cream, yeah.
And like they had this like creme fraiche clotted cream on top, and then the Bavarian cream in the middle that at first I didn't even get to until I like walked around the table where Luke had been eating.
Yeah.
And I
So
was
good.
like, we all could have just split this.
It was
huge.
The portions were giant.
Like a giant dinner plate of pancakes.
Mhm.
Like the
Stacked
pancakes
3 high.
were as big as a giant dinner plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had like a yummy pumpkin spice coffee. It was in a cute like themed Halloween cup.
And it had a little ghost.
It
It
was
was, like,
very
It
cute.
was very adorable.
Yeah, it was so cute. And like the drizzle was all like fun and like sparkles, like Halloween sparkles.
Yes, it was super cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a boring drip coffee because I needed more caffeine than a fun coffee could offer.
Fair.
Yeah, but it was good. I really liked Reds.
It was so
Yeah.
yummy.
They were slammed too.
They were
like
so busy.
I got a like brunch burger there. I was expecting it to be a little bit different than what it was. It was like a normal burger.
You're like,
And I was like,
wait,
oh,
why is
wait.
this? It's just at brunch time.
Yeah.
This is not actually anything brunch related.
But it was still good. I just was expecting like eggs and hash brown and like other stuff on it, but it was way good still.
Yeah. Then we wandered around to some of the shops, which were super cute and fun. A lot of very touristy shops, a lot of like made in China, not a lot of handmade things. I
No,
was
it was
surprised.
pretty hard to find like local artisan stuff. It all just looked like it was made somewhere else and they just brought it there because it's like witchy.
Touristy. Yeah, and witchy.
There were a couple places, like there was a crystal shop.
There was many crystal shops.
Yeah, but there was one in particular that looked like the person had like actually
Done.
done the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they were cute. It was cute. It was fun.
It was fun. Like, if you're expecting to go there and find hardcore, authentic witchcraft supplies, you'll find them, but not in an abundance.
Yeah, there were a couple shops.
There
for
were,
sure.
like the witch's cottage that won't let you film or anything inside of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was
I should have bought what I wanted to buy the day that I went in there because then it was closed the day after. That was one thing. Make sure if you want something, just get it then because you don't know. Like the stores there have weird hours. The times were weird.
The times
so
were weird.
Be mindful of that. If you want to think about something and come back for it, make sure to check the shop hours because you'll miss out on the oracle deck you wanted
Yeah.
and the goat horns.
Yeah. Then in my brain, it was such a blur. I can't remember if we went to Blackcraft day 2 or 3. I think it was 2.
It was
Two.
two because it was the day I could look on my camera reel because it was the day we found the Elizabeth Montgomery bewitched statue.
Yeah.
That's not fucking Sabrina. the
It's not
Teenage Witch.
Sabrina.
Sabrina.
Her name is Samantha.
Yeah, and she was played by Elizabeth Montgomery, and it was a TV series.
Called
And her mom,
Bewitched.
her mom's name was Endora, and she was a fucking badass.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it was day 2. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
if
was.
you
It
walk
was.
from the main witch mall and you keep going down the way,
All the cobble street way.
you'll see the Bewitched statue.
Like,
It's
you'll cross
super
the street
cute.
to get to it.
She's on her broomstick in front of a moon. Very
Yeah.
fun. Very whimsical. And then if you keep walking, you'll get to Blackcraft, which was one of my favorite stores that was there.
It was
where I
my
got the
top,
shirt.
my top store. I spent the most money in that store.
Yeah.
I should have brought my purse down.
It was fun. We also,
yeah.
there was a walk-through haunted house
That
there.
was so fun.
was so
During the summertime, they don't have scare actors in there, so you're allowed to just like walk through
Like,
and
at
at your leisure, which is really cool, and you can like look at all the details.
And we got to
And we-
film and take pictures, yeah.
Yeah, which was super cool. Like the attention to detail was super cool. I can't remember the name of the man, but he works as like a stage set production, but he built the haunted house at Blackcraft. Day 3. Oh, actually,
We all got a coffee at Blackcraft Coffee.
we did.
And mine, I got a red velvet cake coffee, or latte. It was so sweet. It was like
It
a
was
fever
dessert.
dream. It was delicious.
Good soup.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we ate for lunch that day. Oh yeah, I do. It was the Rockefellers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and me and Peter went to the Lobster Shack because you guys had to walk back and get Chantel.
Yeah.
And Luke wanted to go with you guys, so me and Peter found a dive bar to go eat lobster at.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but the Rockefellers had a good crab cake patty sandwich
It smelled
thingy.
so good. I'm
It
kind
was
of
really,
bummed I
really
didn't
good.
get to eat there.
Their French fries were banging too.
Nice.
And then we went to the Witchboard Museum without a tour guide the
Yes,
first time.
we just wandered around.
Yeah,
on
it
our
was
own.
really, really cool to just kind of like see all the witch boards and all the history and all the movie posters. Do you guys remember the number of Ouija boards he said he had
He had, like,
in his collection?
A lot.
He couldn't tell us an exact number. It was like
He said
say
over 1,000.
I want to say in Salem he has over 1,000, and then in his other location it's bigger, and he has like 2,000 there or something. Like
Something.
That.
He's got a lot of Ouija boards.
He sure does, and lots of cool like I've never seen them before Ouija boards.
Yeah. Then we ate dinner at a place that I can't recall what one was day 2. Where did we eat dinner? Oh, we got pizza.
And we order, yeah, because you guys got pizza from the place we ate the first night we were there. And
Garçon's Pizza Slice.
we got roast beef sandwiches.
It was good New York style pizza.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we went home and passed out because we walked 25,000 steps that day. Day 3. We started the day at Coffee Time Bake Shop. Amazing breakfast sandwiches and pastries and everything that I got there. Coffee, 10 out of 10.
Were we with you that day?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys on your way back to the downtown area, you guys stopped there. Yeah, so we all ate there at breakfast.
Yeah. And it was really, really good.
It
Yeah.
was so yummy.
My coffee was the best coffee I think I had in Salem.
So good. Coffee Time Bake Shop is what it was called.
I had a cheese Danish. Oh.
It's a little out of the way from the main Salem spot, but it's 100% worth.
And it's
It's
right down
bopping.
the street from where we stayed at the Cove.
Yeah, and it's
So
like a block away from the Satanic
Yeah,
Temple.
so it's like the Cove, the Bake Shop, the Satanic Temple.
No,
Oh.
Cove, Satanic Temple, Bake Shop.
Oh, okay.
And then we wandered some more. We went to Count Orlok's Horror Museum.
We sure did.
It was a wax museum. It was actually really cool.
It was.
I
we
was
couldn't
impressed.
take any pictures though, could we? Yeah.
No.
It was really fun. And then we did a walkthrough.
Another
Like a
an
haunted house,
animatronic based
And they
haunted
let
house.
us film in that one, so that was cool.
The Count Orlok's Horror Museum, that was the wax one. They were one of the few places that had a couple of handmade things. Like they had handmade earrings. They had pins and like tiny rugs.
Yeah, and they had art prints from local artists that were really fun.
Yeah. Then we had lunch at the Lobster Shanty.
Yes.
It It was real good.
Second lobster roll of the trip.
Hell yeah.
It was a banging lobster roll.
Oh.
The onion rings.
Salem has the market on onion rings.
Brother. Those
Like,
are some
Utah needs to learn how to do
onion
onion
rings.
rings like Salem.
They're like thinly sliced and like lightly
tempura
battered.
battered.
So
Mm.
Yeah. Craig got a barbecue
I
sandwich
did get a
because Craig
barbecue
doesn't
pork
do
sandwich.
seafood.
I don't do seafood. But all the food I ate was really good still. And yeah, I didn't eat a bit of seafood.
Not a single
Absolutely
bit.
not.
We had lunch.
Then
Then
we
we
got
got
ice
ice
cream.
cream.
We went to Witchboard Museum round 2
With the tour guide.
with
Yeah.
the tour guide.
Johnny?
He is so knowledgeable. He can tell you anything and everything about witchboards and Ouija boards and the history and the movies and
He
all the
can
things.
tell you more than you ever thought you needed to know. Then you're really excited that you know it.
Yes,
now.
it's really super interesting.
He's
A lot
so
of the
personable and friendly.
he
Oh, yeah,
is
he
so
was really
personable and friendly. A lot of the things that we believe about Ouija boards come from The Exorcist. Saying goodbye, Exorcist. Not playing them by yourself, Exorcist. Prior to that, people would play them by themselves to like ask for love advice and all the things.
Like
So
people who had lost their lovers in the war and would like
Yeah.
try and communicate with them, like solo.
the satanic panic demonized the Ouija board. They're not evil. If you're listening to this and you're like, you're lying, they're evil, Satan. They're not evil. Look at the
No.
history.
Yeah. Well, and if you have evil intentions,
That's true.
but if you're just like a silly little human, like, you're gonna be fine.
You're gonna be fine.
Me and Aiden played the Ouija board at her house all the time. I do know, though, that it did really work because she was down taking a bath and I decided to use it by myself. And I went to put my hand lightly on the planchette, and before I even touched it, it shot off the board. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm not playing anymore. And I went down and sat by her mom on the couch
Yeah.
until she was done bathing.
And a lot of times people have, because again, it's about intention, they have bad experiences with Ouija boards because they're trying to get scared. And so what happens?
Right.
They get scared.
Right, and they're not setting a clear intention of what they want from the experience other than fear.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was a trickster, guess what I would
I
do?
would be messing
I
with
would be
those
like,
kids
you want to
so
be
hard.
scared? I'll
Yeah.
show you scared.
Boo.
But I do know my friend at work had a bad experience with a Ouija board, but the kids she was playing with had bad intentions and were asking like questions that led to the events because they were being dicks.
Another thing I have heard too is like, don't ask questions that you don't really want to know the answer
Like,
to.
don't ask when you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that probably is also just like an anxiety thing. Because then you're like, oh God, I'm going to die December 12th, 1927. Or, God, that's
I died in the
2027. I don't know why I said that date.
I love that.
Maybe
good.
that's when I died in a past life.
Ooh. What year did Amelia Earhart die?
I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, according to my younger sister, I was Amelia Earhart in the past life. I don't know. I don't know. That's just what she says. Anyhows, day 4. No. We went on a ghost tour.
We
Yeah,
surely did.
on day 3. Our tour guide was called Nyx, and they were super enthusiastic.
She was the cutest little thing. She's just tiny.
She is a really good storyteller. Shout out Nyx if you ever hear this, pop off.
NYX, like the goddess.
And she is super knowledgeable about the history and the ghost stories. Okay, now day 4. Unless you guys had anything to say about the... Oh, Craig has a story from the ghost tour.
Yes. So we were getting towards the end of the tour and we were stopped in front of the old town hall. And I see, so there's construction happening right now, so it has like this little fence around it. And I saw like this black shadowy figure in the like second floor up window, just like crossed by each pan, like doop, doop, doop. And it was just like right there, and I was like, oh my God, I saw something. And then later we heard a story where like that's like common, like people will see like shadowy figures in the windows.
Our tour guide had seen a
Yep.
A shady figure.
Nick saw a shadowy figure in the window.
Yeah. Day 4, we did not do breakfast together.
No, Luke needed to sleep, and I was not about to wake up Lucifer to do anything.
Fair. We started our day at the Ugly Mug.
Oh, yeah.
This place was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee was good. French toast was good. It's definitely Reds and Coffee Bake Shop Time or whatever that one was called were better. I would put this as like 3 or 4 out of all the coffees that we got.
We ate at Dunkin' Donuts. Super exciting, I know.
Yes.
But it was like right across from the hotel.
On our cemetery. On our tour, we had walked past some cemeteries in the night, so we wanted to go see them in the daytime. So we went to the one that had the witch monument that had all the dates and like the ways that the people were executed. So like by hanging or by not stoning,
Pressing.
but pressing.
Wasn't that just the one guy?
There was one.
Giles. Yeah.
Yes.
Then we had the best goddamn lunch of the whole trip.
We went to Turner's Seafood.
We went to
Oh,
Turner's
yeah.
Seafood. It was 100 out of 10. 100 out of 10
Must
lobster roll, 100 out of 10 haddock masala, 100 out of 10, what was your
I
pasta?
had chicken penne alla vodka, and it was amazing. It was so tasty, so like creamy and rich.
I had the clam linguine. It was banging. It was so good. The sauce was like a citrusy, buttery, like white wine sauce.
I should have tried a bite of that.
You should have. Chantel helped me eat it.
Yeah.
Because she got a salad.
She panic ordered a salad.
Yeah. Hate it when that happens.
I know, same. And let's
It's
see.
always a salad, too.
Yeah.
You guys got oysters.
Luke even liked them.
Luke even liked the oysters.
Like he tried an oyster last August when we went to Oscar's Steakhouse in Las Vegas at the Plaza, and he spit it right back out. Him and Zay both.
Yeah.
But no, these oysters, some were from Maine and some were from Massachusetts. And the ones from Massachusetts were my favorite. But the ones from Maine too, like,
It was just good.
It's
It was
just-
good,
oh.
fresh seafood.
you have to eat there.
Turner's, a must. If you're
Yeah.
going to Salem and you can only eat at one place,
Eat there.
go to Turner's. It's also haunted.
I know, I
Awesome.
have some tea.
I'm so excited. We'll get to the ghost stories in just a second. We wandered more cemeteries. After that, we went to I think that one was the oldest cemetery, right?
Yeah.
The one on the
Yes.
hills.
Yes.
And that was cool. And then we went home because our feetses were tired.
And me and Peter and Luke and Chantel went to an arcade on like the wharf, and it was really fun. It was like this cool old school arcade where you still like won paper tickets.
Fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. And then we got some ice cream and we walked by the water.
Yay!
Okay.
And I fed seagulls my ice cream cone.
I forgot on day 4 at the beginning of the day, we went exploring to the ocean. We went to the Willow Park Pier. They had a little like oyster shack there that smelled delicious, but we were gonna go eat at Turner's, so we didn't get anything to eat there, but it smelled real good. But we ate dinner at 99 Restaurants. That's just like kitty corner from the Cove Inn at Salem. And it was pretty good. I got a cold lobster roll.
Yeah, because we had to.
We had to. I definitely prefer the hot lobster roll, but they
Yes.
had bangin' waffle fries and this really good queso corn chip dip.
It was like street corn queso dip.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mom and Luke, okay, the way
They are such dicks.
they are such dicks. The waitress came around and she said, "We only have 2 more hot rolls." Mom and Luke, the second the words left her mouth, they were like, "It's mine."
Yeah, it was.
It was wild. Did you guys have anything else to say about D4?
No.
It was good. That was a more chill day in the afternoon. We were all exhausted.
Yeah.
Well, chill for you guys.
Yeah.
We promised Luke an arcade, so
Almost
we had to deliver.
Forgot. Good night, fatties.
Oh yeah,
we
we
ate
ended.
after our tour. Their Biscoff dough thingies were delicious. They were so good. And their ice cream looked
Their ice
really
cream
good.
was really good. I tried some of Luke's. He begrudgingly let me have some.
And Good Night Fatties is kitty corner from the Salem Witch Museum, and
Yes.
it's only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 8 to 2 a.m., I think.
Yeah, so it's the perfect
8
place
p.m.
after your ghost tour. Because that's when the ghost tours all wrap up, is around then. The streets kind of roll up and close early there.
Early, yeah.
Very early.
Like, even the 99 restaurant that wasn't even in the main downtown area, they closed at 9.
Mm-hmm.
Like, most restaurants close at 9 there.
Yeah. Or earlier.
Yeah. So,
Just
plan for that.
accordingly.
Yeah.
Yes. Day 5, Craig and Chantel and I started our day at Brew Box, which their coffee was really, really, really good. And we got a delicious breakfast burrito, and I got a really good honey blueberry goat milk scone.
we ate at Dunkin' Donuts again. Because everybody got up late, and we just wanted something fast and easy and cheap. Fast, easy, cheap.
Fast, easy, cheap. The ferry ride.
That was the best.
That was
so
so fun. One of my favorite parts, actually.
Mm-hmm.
10 out of 10. The Salem Ferry is what it was called.
the damn boat.
Ride the
Right,
boat.
the damn boat.
There are different ones. The one we went on was called Salem Ferry. The other boats that we saw were packed like sardines. So if that's not your vibe and you want to sit on the front of the boat
And get splashed.
and get
Get splashed.
splashed, with
Which
the
we did,
ocean
and it
water,
was wonderful.
It was so good. Ride the Salem Ferry.
Mm-hmm. That was one of my favorite parts of the trip.
It
Same.
was so
I
cool.
really liked that. I liked the ghost tour, and I liked seeing all the old houses. Those houses,
Oh, they're fabulous.
so beautiful.
So pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I also love the wax museum. That was cool.
The
yeah,
wax museum
that was
was
really
fun.
cool.
It was really cool.
We did some touristy gimmicky things, and those were so fun. Like,
They were fun.
If you aren't expecting to go and, like,
It's a tourist
it's
area.
touristy, and
Yeah.
it's witch themed tourism, which I'm here for.
Yeah.
But other people like get mad because it's gimmicky, and I'm like, then don't go.
But like
Yeah.
that's kind of
That's the whole point. I don't know. And all the store owners were super nice. Like, we went into Ascend the last day. Luke found a really cool Kali, I don't know, Oracle deck.
Kali.
Kali.
I think.
Sorry.
Kali.
Yes.
Collie.
She's a fierce badass, so
Yeah.
the deck gave me full body chills when he handed it to me and said, I think this is the right one I want.
Mm.
And I
It's
was
a
like,
very cool deck.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a couple shops, like I said, that did have like real artist prints and like real
Mhm.
artist
Like
things.
stickers
You kind of have to
and-
seek them out, though.
Yeah. That's why I think we liked Blackcraft so much, because it's local.
Yeah, and it is like big now, but when they started out, it was like a small
Oh,
homebrew.
it's gorgeous.
It's the world's largest, or not the world's, the Salem's largest witch statue. It might be the world's. I don't know.
I mean, I've never seen or heard about one bigger. It's huge. and
It's
she's
huge.
Gorgeous.
So cool.
The store is gorgeous.
The store is gorgeous,
And they're making a part upstairs in it that you can get married in.
yeah.
And I'm like, I could just vow renewal here.
And then there was the long ass plane ride home.
Yeah, it was long.
Long,
It was long.
And we got home super late.
We got home super late.
And I was driving home most of the way until I was like, I looked down and realized my eyes shut. And I was like, oh, shit.
Oh God.
And I was like, Peter, how tired are you? And he's like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, you need to drive now.
we stopped at Raising Cane's on our way home.
We
Got some
stopped at
really good
Maverick.
chicky nug strips and
Mm.
fries and cane sauce. Good soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like our itinerary. Do you guys have anything to add related to like things we did, etc.?
No.
Okie
Your
dokie.
ghost story at the.
Well, yeah, the
Yeah,
ghost
she's
stories
getting
are
there.
happening.
Okay, bet. Perfect.
So, Bridget Bishop and Turner's Seafood Restaurant. So, in a recent episode, we talked about the strange occurrence of ladies in white that seem to haunt every state. One we did not mention and probably didn't even know about is the lady in white that haunts Turner's Seafood. From multiple articles online, it seems that seeing this woman in white, one of the most frequent ghost encounters at Turner's. However, these articles provided no actual first-hand accounts. Womp womp. However, the nice young man who worked at the Cove in Salem where we stayed showed us footage from the security camera at Turner's that showed a picture frame being swept off a small table by the entryway by an invisible hand. There were people standing by the entrance who witnessed this, but no one near the frame, and no way wind could make it move like that. So the nice man who worked there showed us that fun footage. We did have some experiences at our hotel. Luke was spoopy pooping in the haunted stall, aka the bathroom in the game room, located above the hotel lobby. I made a typo. I said about the hotel lobby. No, above.
Above.
He said he was minding his own business, having a nice public poop, when the paper towel dispenser, completely unprovoked by a living human, went off. This bathroom is a one-seater, so he was the only one in there. And then the TV in our room had some activity.
Ooh.
So it was either our first or it had to have been our second night there, because our first night there we got in and just like, no, maybe it was our first night because we got into Salem. Yeah, our first night in Salem. Our first night we stayed over in Boston and we got in super late. Anyway, so it was maybe our first or second night there when this happened. So the TV in our room, I had turned it on to Netflix, and while looking for a show, Peter convinced me to go into the out of side and enjoy the deck area where they had some fire pits.
Oh, it was such a cool deck.
It was, that hotel was just so fun.
So good.
It was so nice and chill. And then, so we went out there. The night was balmy and gorgeous. The smell was amazing. All the flowers and greenery there giving such a magical scent. Lucas and myself were outside, and Peter went back to the room to use the restroom. On his way in, he noticed that the TV was off. He thought I had done this before I went outside to join them. He didn't really think anything of it and did his business. On his way out of the bathroom, he realized the TV had been turned back on and was playing Unsolved Mysteries. He didn't really know what to make of it, so ignored it and came back outside. At some point, I needed to go use the bathroom, and when I came back outside, after I used the bathroom, Peter asked me if I had come into the room while he was in there earlier and turned the TV back on. I said I didn't, and when I left the room for the first time that night to join them outside, I had left it on. I had left the TV on, and I was still logged into Netflix. So he then relayed what happened with the TV turning itself on to Unsolved Mysteries.
Bum, bum, bum.
So, Cove Ghost loves Unsolved Mysteries.
Good for them.
They're like, this is how I died.
This was my episode, bitch. Listen,
Like, I'm showing
Solve
you.
my murder.
So yeah, that was, other than seeing like a misty, shadowy figure in the building across the street from the town hall, it looked like it was like an office space up there. That's it. That's all the spooky stuff.
The only spooky things I experienced were the black shadowy figure crossing the windows and just like seeing some orbs in the cemeteries, but that was like it for me. I don't really experience anything else, just like orbs and the shadow figure.
Yeah, I feel like there's so much going on, so much to look at. You're so overstimulated.
Not even like
It's like
looking
a
or paying attention.
sensory overload.
It is
The ghosts.
definitely a sensory overload, so it's hard to be like tuned in.
And you could like feel the energy when you'd walk into like buildings.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
those are old buildings.
Like Utah doesn't have things that are like that.
No.
Mm-mm.
Or that are still like standing and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. My only paranormal ghost experience was at the Witchboard Museum when I felt a hand go under my shirt and rub across my back.
Pervy ghost.
Pervy ghost.
Pervy ghost.
Dad was feeling a woman in there.
Yeah.
He told me not to sit on her, and I was like, fine.
Yeah.
I'll do what I want.
Do what you want.
I'll sit on this ghost woman's lap if I want to.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
it for personal ghost stories from us. But we do have some personal ghost stories from visitors of Salem past.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Clue House, aka the historic Gardner Pingree House. I'm not sure how to say that.
Pingree?
Pingree is how I have it in my notes. But this is from SalemGhosts.com. It says that in 1804, Salem architect Samuel McIntyre built the Gardner Pingree House for John Gardner Jr. and his wife Sarah. After enduring financial losses, the owner sold the house to Sarah's brother. In 1814, this red brick house was sold to a wealthy retired merchant, Captain Joseph White, who resided with a single manservant and his niece, Mrs. Beckford, who worked as his housekeeper. Mrs. Bedford had a daughter who was married to Mr. Joseph J. Knapp Jr. But when Knapp learned that Captain White had written Beckford in his will to have $15,000, greed consumed him. Because, should White meet an untimely end, he would bestow a sizable portion of his amassed wealth upon his wife. Thus, he would become a wealthy man if nobody saw the will. So, he conspired with his brother and a local criminal to do the evil deed on the evening of... That makes it sound like it's something else. On the evening on April 6, 1930, Richard Kronischild, hired by brothers Joseph and John Knapp, entered through the second-story window and bludgeoned the elderly captain to death in his sleep. The story that our tour guide told us is that they stabbed him several times and then bludgeoned him. SalemGhost.com just said that they bludgeoned him to death, so I don't know what's true.
I trust Nyx.
I trust Nyx. But the murder is said to have inspired a couple of things. It inspired Edgar Allan Poe's Telltale Heart as well as the game Clue. Mm-hmm. Though I did find some contradicting evidence about that online.
Oh, dang it. Dang it.
Dang it. Let's go gambling. But here's the ghost story from the house, now that you've got a little quick crash course. This is by Cosmogal926. In the summer of 2002, my ex-husband and I went on vacation to Salem, Massachusetts. I remember being so excited to finally get the chance to visit one of the most historical and haunted places in America. Once we checked in at the Carriage House Inn B&B, I grabbed all the brochures I could find and started to check off all the ghost tours and places I wanted to visit.
She didn't do that before?
Girl, she did it there. We're just hooligans who watch 1,000 videos before we go. I grabbed all the brochures I could find and started to check off all the ghost tours and places I wanted to visit. One of the tours started at the Peabody Essex Museum and continued outdoors, visiting buildings connected to the 18th and 19th century maritime history. It was a beautiful summer day, and we started our Peabody tour. One of the buildings on the tour was the Gardner Pingree House. Our tour guide walked up to the house to see if it was okay for us to enter because there were some repairs being done. He came back to the group with a puzzled look on his face and told us that the workers must be out to lunch because their stuff is in the front room, but nobody is in the house. I remember him saying in a sarcastic tone, "Nice of them to lock up." We started on our tour of the house looking at all of the old furniture and the fireplace and the old cauldron-type pots and cooking utensils hanging from it. The guide starts telling us that the house belonged to a sea captain named Joseph White. He was very successful and wealthy, but had a very bad habit of keeping his gold and doubloons in a trunk in his room. Captain White also liked to drink and party when he came home from the voyages.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, he sounds like a wild guy just having a good time. Normally inviting strangers into his home and letting it slip that he keeps his money in the house. So this is a completely different story than what Salem Ghosts and our tour guide told us. Yeah. But at that point in the tour, the guide had led us upstairs to Captain White's bedroom, where he continued the story. One night, the captain went to bed a little earlier than usual. He was in his 80s, so he was probably not feeling well. In the morning, his son Benjamin White, which in the other stories, he doesn't have a son. It's just his niece, found the window open on the ground floor with a plank leaning up against the back of it. He then ran upstairs to get his father for fear that someone robbed them, but found him dead, bludgeoned to death in his bed. I was listening to him so intently that I jumped when I heard the front door slam shut.
I jumped just then.
The tour guide stopped and said, "It looks like the workers are back from lunch." I then started to hear heavy footsteps. It sounded like someone was coming up the stairs wearing a pair of work boots. The guide looked annoyed and said, What is with these people today? They know they're not supposed to come upstairs when a tour's going on." I stuck my head out the bedroom to see who was coming. But the sound of the footsteps stopped almost immediately, and nobody was on the stairs.
Oh, shit.
The guide called out, but there was no answer. Everyone got real quiet, wondering what was going on. I looked at my ex-husband and said, "I think the captain's home." After I said that, the hair on both of my arms stood straight up, and it got cold in the room.
She was right.
She was right. The guide turned pale white and blurted out, "Tour's over," and literally took us all downstairs, everyone in the group following closely behind and out the door. I couldn't believe I actually had an experience in Salem, Massachusetts. I will never forget it, and I can't wait to go back again. Thanks for reading. Hope you enjoyed it.
We did enjoy it. That was a great story.
It was a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not us all like nodding in silence. Oh, a minute.
We're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So you should probably watch this on YouTube if you want to see
us
how
nod.
absolutely ridiculous we all are in person.
I also feel like I'm
That is
still
killing me.
tired and recovering from our
just a little.
adventure.
Yeah, because then we still had to finish the work week too.
Yeah. I'm also menstruating. And so my brain is pudding brain. Also, that's why I'm being a little bitch today.
What a bitch. In a bad way.
Okay, anyway. God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Do you want to go first or should I?
You can go first.
Okay. Okay. So, beautifully designed and affordably posh, Pabbage family conceived the Salem Inn over 30 years ago. A husband and wife duo bought the former home at Captain Nathaniel West, Captain Nathaniel West, intending to establish the best inn in the city of Salem, Massachusetts. The inn has 3 houses, all of which date back to the early 19th century. The West House, the Kerwin House, and the Peabody House all make up the inn. Even before the Salem Inn opened its doors, reports of paranormal happenings were flooding out of it and spreading all throughout the town. The engineers that gathered within the houses are undeniably, or the energies, the engineers gathering in the houses.
What are they doing?
No.
It's a conference.
A witch conference. No,
An
the-
engineer
witch-
conference.
Yeah.
A
Witchy
witchy engineer conference.
The energies gathered within the houses are undeniable. Guests and staff of the inn have each had their own stories of encounters in each of the rooms and throughout the inn itself. Okay. The West House, built in 1834, goddamn, by prominent sea merchant Nathaniel West, is considered to be the central part of the inn. The rather imposing Federalist-style house housed 22 rooms and suites. Each within its own unique antiques, the house would later become home to Union General William Cogswell.
That's a fun name.
Yeah, their names are all wild AF. Who served as the 16th mayor of Salem and later elected the city's 19th mayor. Within a welcoming fireplace in the parlor and a complimentary sherry. What is that?
Sherry? It's alcohol.
It's alcohol.
Oh.
It's not as good as brandy and definitely not as good as tequila.
Okay. Bet. There's a personal touch to the Salem Inn that cannot be found in the area's larger hotels. For those that love to travel with pets, the West House is pet-friendly, and the Salem Inn is the only hotel that allows furry companions. There's even a ghostly cat that roams the halls.
Ooh.
Aww.
The second oldest of the 3 homes that form the Salem Inn is the Kerwin House. It had been constructed in the Italian Revival style 20th century. Oh my god. It has been constructed in the Italiante Revival style 20 years after the West House. Built by the Kerwin brothers, Samuel and James, this part of the hotel is strictly adults only and to be a gateway from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. So it has a bar.
Oh, nice.
Drinks. The youngest of the 3 houses is the Peabody House, built in 1874, a Grand Dutch colonial style home. Built as a single-family home originally, it's important to note that the Salem Inn is one of Massachusetts' most historic treasures.
Yes.
Remember, Salem's just a historic
It
treasure.
is a historic
is.
treasure. Each home of the Salem Inn offers a different experience, each one special and unique in its own way. The homes share one
One hump?
hump, one commonality.
One hump.
They share one hump.
I only give one hump.
Only one humps, please. They share one commonality. They're all reportedly haunted.
Good. How could they not be?
Oh, yeah.
Might I have a single hump, sir?
Mhm.
They never stop at just one.
Yes. So, a little bit about, the inn's beginnings. Over 30 years ago, the Oh my god, words. Dilapidated.
Dilapidated.
I was gonna say dial-up internet. What?
Dial-up internet was real bad.
It
The
was.
dilapidated West House was falling into ruin, like myself. Luckily, the Pavage family arrived in Salem in 1983, and breathed
I was
new
one.
life. Oh hell yeah! They breathed new
They
life.
breathed in
them.
it.
They were like, "Wah." New life. Okay.
Sorry, oh my god.
They were looking for a property to invest in, and the West House was the perfect candidate. The city of Salem was ecstatic at the beautiful job that Dick and Diane Pavish did, and quickly, sorry, there was Dick.
I thought it wasn't just me thinking.
I
was like,
not gonna
I was
say
holding it
it.
in real good. And then
I swung that dick in there real
He
good.
swung the dick in real good, like, and breathed new life in there.
And
Okay.
this is why we aren't for children.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen. Theys, thems, hims, hers.
Hell yeah. All the humans.
All
and
the
pets.
humans.
And pets. Mhm. Pets, if you're listening. Tell us your ghost stories. Okay. You can go haunt this inn because it's pet friendly.
Oh my god, sorry. Have you guys seen the movie? It's gonna be like a ghost story told from the perspective of a dog.
What?
I need to see that.
Yeah, it's called Good Boy.
Oh, it's
Okay,
so
anyway.
cute.
Is it out?
No, it comes out October 3rd.
Are we gonna go see it?
Fuck yeah, we are.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
After we go to Lagoon for your birthday?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So after Dick and Diane renovated the home.
Sorry, Dick.
Dick's
Penis.
Peener.
penis monster. It's
I'm not
chaotic.
sorry.
We are chaotic and we are recovering still, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
And we haven't recorded in a few weeks.
It's been
so
a hot
we're...
minute.
It's been a hot
It's
minute.
been the hottest of minutes. Okay. So the city of Salem put the house under the National Registry of Historic Places. After a few years, the Padages acquired the Kerwin House and the sadly neglected Peabody House soon after. So they did renovations, got it all fun and nice. Yeah, so today the inn features 42 rooms, 21 fireplaces, and enough history to fill 100 suitcases.
Oh damn.
Mhm. Beautiful historic details and evident love for old homes are all that you can find at the inn. However, the inn staff swear that at least 3 ghosts are haunting the Salem Inn. Catherine, a small child, not a child, and a ghostly black cat in the parlor.
Aw, what's the baby's name? Does it have a name?
It doesn't have a name.
Rude.
I would have
know.
named that baby.
You name it. You name the
You
freaking
name the
baby.
babies. If you don't know who it is, you give it a name.
I'm sure several
Should we
people
name
have named
him,
it.
you guys?
Yes. What should we name?
What should we name him?
Salem. Just kidding.
Salem Binks.
Salem Binks
The
the
third.
1000.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a Binks at my house.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have Tulliver, Professor Tulliver Foxtrot.
What color is this ghost cat?
Is it black?
Black.
Is that what you said?
Black. Nyx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like our tour guide, but also because Nyx is the goddess of night.
It all fits.
It all fits.
It all fits.
Full circle.
It's a circle. Okay,
At
Catherine.
least it's not a circle jerk.
Not a circle jerkle, no more peens.
Oh man.
Just kidding. There'll never be enough peens. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just yapping.
Maybe not.
We're
Just
just yapping at this point.
Yeah.
We just.
Yep. Yep. Catherine. The cold air coming from the front door. She decided it as someone rushed by me and up the stairs. She described it as if someone ran by her
Ooh.
and up the stairs.
Have you guys ever felt that? When a
Oh,
ghost
something
just
rushed
rushes
past you?
Yes.
And you get like full body chills.
Yeah.
And,
Because you're not expecting it. It catches
Mhm.
you totally off guard. You're just zipping up your pants in the bathroom at a steakhouse.
Either you're just zipping and it just goes
You're
by.
just zipping. Understandably freaked out, she retold the story to another employee later in the day, and her only response was, "Oh, that's just Catherine.
Nice.
Just Catherine."
It's just Catherine. Chill out.
Yeah. The identity of Catherine isn't known, but both guests and employees tell of her accompanying cold breeze.
I wonder if they just decided to name her Catherine, or if somehow they found out that was her name, even though they don't know.
I
who
think
she
they just
was.
kind of named her. Alright, the black cat. Guests who have allergies to cats find themselves with the old familiar symptoms when stepping inside the parlor, where the cat is seen. Other guests report a cat darting about out of the corner of their eye. How Salem can it get? A spirit of a black cat in a haunted inn.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That seems pretty on brand.
Yeah. I like that.
Cute.
Cute.
The young child.
No.
Not a child. The spirit of a young child whose laughter and little feet can be heard trotting up and down the steps.
Ew.
Guys need
Trotting.
to go back
Trotting.
and listen to the episode about haunted schools.
Mm-hmm.
Kylie has a banger of
She
a
does
story.
have a banger of a story.
Fucking kid ghosts.
Oh, so
Ew.
scary.
They're not kids.
They're not kids. They're fucking little demons. Thingies.
There's
And
something
they're not
else,
kids. Yeah,
but they're
some-
not kids.
They're non-human entities
entities.
that are trying to be a human entity and trick you.
I keep
Tricksters.
breathing on the mic like that this
Hooah.
episode. Hooah!
Okay.
One hump.
One hump, please. Oh no. Yeah, so you'll hear laughter, little feet running up and down the stairs, and the hall above the front desk. Several employees have
That
heard
might
this.
be residual.
It could
It could be
definitely be
residual,
residual.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Several employees have heard the spirit dropping unseen pebbles onto the front desk.
That's
from the
not very
staircase
residual.
above. Yeah.
They've only heard it though, so it could be.
They dropped pebbles onto the desk.
They heard.
Oh, it wasn't literal
They dropped.
pebbles.
It sounded like it.
Oh, okay. That could definitely be residual then.
Mhm.
I thought there were actual pebbles.
Mhm. Even the Stephen King-like guest book has tales of ghastly encounters, including a woman watching her bedroom door slowly open and slam shut, thumps and bumps in room 17, and disembodied conversations coming from empty rooms.
Ooh.
Unexplainable shadows, items going missing and reappearing somewhere else.
Oh, I hate that.
That's
literally the worst.
Yeah. Awful. Don't do that, ghosts, please.
I know, it's super rude.
Super rude. And apparitions are familiar in the Salem Inn.
Ooh.
Ooh.
The ghost of room 17.
Or
Ooh, the
Or
ghost of
Nor.
room 17.
Bumps in the night fill the ears of whoever stay in room 17. But who or what exactly is causing these sounds? Some have dubbed the ghost of the room Elizabeth, perhaps as a reference to Nathaniel West's wife, who famously divorced him for his Sorry. I stopped in my tracks.
It was Peter.
Extramarital affairs, so yeah.
It was
It was Peter. It was because of his Peter.
Because of his penis.
Not staying at home where it belongs.
Yeah, god damn it.
Wandering Peener.
His wandering penis.
His wandering womb.
Yes. Others say that Catherine haunts room 17 as well as the rest of the historic inn. So it could be Catherine too.
Could Catherine be one of his ex-girlfriends?
The scandal.
Oh.
Very scandal.
Very scandalous.
Very scandal.
According to one guest that stayed in the room, a well-known psychic, the room is indeed haunted by the ghosts of a woman who was killed by her husband. This betrayal has led to her mistreatment of any man who stays in the room.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
Oh, sorry everyone.
Oh!
Oh, jump scare.
scare.
literally. Yeah. Sorry. I was like, I read that already. Usually when a man does dare to stay the night in the room at 17, she becomes quite loud and active to disturb their sleep.
That's it. You and Peter. Room 17.
Bet. Let's do it.
Snuggling
Let's
together.
do it. She bangs walls in the closet and stomps about the room. Damn, she's throwing a whole fit. Understandable. It said that there's... Oh my god. It said there is a way to quell her anger with an offering of whiskey on the bedside table.
Well, that's easy.
She just wants some whiskey.
She just wants some. She just needs a good stiffener.
Mm-hmm. I got that from salemghost.com/the haunted Salem Inn.
So we all looked at that website today
Yep.
Yeah.
and yesterday. Then cool.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything from there, but I did read a lot on there.
Whiskey. Rain makes corn. Corn makes whiskey.
No.
Whiskey makes my baby. All kinds of whiskey.
One hump.
One cup.
Please.
Okay.
And now the Sally the Camel song is in my head.
Oh my god, I haven't thought
Oh
about
my
that
God.
song in a million years.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sally the camel has 5 humps.
How'd she get 5?
That's too many.
It goes down and
Oh
ending though, shall we? The camel had no humps.
Sad.
Because she was a horse, of course.
Yep. Freaking sad.
Done! If you don't know that song, Google it.
That shook me to my
I
core.
guess you didn't watch Barney then, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, was it Barney?
It's,
That's
well,
where
that's
I
where I
heard it from.
I always heard it in like kindergarten. The teacher would sing it to us.
Oh, lucky. Was your teacher Mrs. Day?
Jacobson.
Mrs.
Jacobson.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was a
I
gem.
love
She was a
her. She's the nicest lady. She did not want me to date her son. It was because he was like probably way too old for me. But like 13-year-old me did not care.
That's funny.
Because he was like in high school. Probably like a sophomore and I was an 8th grader.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Nothing untoward happened, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Mrs. Jacobson. She's so nice. Anyway.
So nice. All right,
Okay.
tell us your story.
Okay.
We already. We'll
All
stop
right.
talking about humps.
And penises.
And
we might
camels.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. This is from Our Paranormal by Living Dead Girl 7. There was 6 other Living Dead girls before her, so she had to
She had
choose
to
the
choose
number
7.
7.
That's
So-
funny.
The Salem Board, a Ouija board story.
Who?
I collect Ouija boards. I
Pop
know
off.
how strange this sounds. Actually, that doesn't sound strange to
No.
me at all.
No, ma'am.
Most people collect stamps, posters, and the like. I should probably preface this by saying I have a pretty extensive knowledge of the paranormal.
Oh, period.
Same, girl. I have been having experiences with it since I was a child. Same. This led
Can't
me to,
relate.
Yep.
Yeah, this led me to delve into the world of paranormal investigation in my teens and early 20s, which coincided with my beginning to collect the boards. Since then, I have amassed quite a collection, but there is one that I refuse to even keep in my house. That must be pretty intense.
Yeah.
I call it the Salem Board. So I just skimmed through this, so I am going to be as surprised as everyone else.
Oh,
I used to do special FX makeup for films, and I was in Salem, Massachusetts, for a job. As you have probably gathered, I am a lover of the strange, unusual,
Same.
and all things creepy. So I was thrilled by this opportunity.
hell
What
yeah.
a mood.
Right? I think we could be friends with her.
Living Dead Girl 7, if you're listening.
I had gotten into town a few days before filming began so I could prep, but also so I could do a little sightseeing. Smart. I was wandering through some of the shops and happened to walk into one that had a pretty large collection of Ouija boards. I wonder if it could have been the Witchboard Museum.
Ah.
Uh,
Ew, I don't know what it
Yeah.
was. It reminds me of Twilight Legend of Zelda. When like the fairy bitch comes and she's all
I never played Legend of Zelda.
oh my god, sorry. I can't keep myself together.
That's okay, girl. You don't have to. I feel left out. Maybe now I need to play Legend of Zelda.
You just need to watch a video of that part at the
okay.
very least.
She sounds like she was having one hump.
You did not want your parents to walk in because it sounded.
She was having one hump, please. Some were vintage, some were etched glass, and some were burned wood.
Edge class is cool.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
That is really cool, actually.
I think I would need one now. Anyway, my Ouija board's broken. Doesn't work. At the back of the shop, there was a locked display case which immediately caught my eye. Alone on the top shelf was a board that looked as though it was a cross-section of a tree stump.
Ooh, that's really cool.
Yeah. It had the usual markings of a Ouija board, but they looked to be hand-carved into the wood.
Ooh.
This sounds like super cool.
That
It
is amazing.
does.
It was also covered with runes. I went to the guy behind the counter and asked, "How much is this one?" He said, "It's not for sale." Oh, he said that quietly. He said, "It's not for sale."
Ooh.
Ooh.
"Why not?" I asked. He looked back at the cabinet and then back at me. "That board is made from a tree that was used to hang witches." during the Salem witch trials. They weren't witches. They were just people.
They was
women's.
They was.
I looked at him skeptically. That was a pretty tall claim. I really did want the board, though. It would look great in my collection and be a cool conversation piece. Are you sure you don't want to sell it?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, she's
I mean, she's
on a mission. She's not taking no for an answer. Okay, once again, he looked between me and the cabinet. 150 cash, no returns.
No
That's
returns.
it? $150 doll hairs?
Okay. Ma'am, can I buy this for
I
you?
know. Wait, we
You
might
need
not
it, got
want it, though.
gone. Yeah.
I think we could handle it.
She's like free.
I guess let's wait and see what happens.
Let's wait and see what happens
Let's wait
before
and
we commit to taking this off
Yeah.
her hands. I handed him the money, and he walked to the cabinet, unlocked it. To unlock it, sorry. He must have noticed the confusion look on my face when he handed me the board. It doesn't come with a planchette. This board was not exactly meant to be used. I wasn't exactly sure how to respond to that, so I just said thanks and left the shop. That sounds like what I would do. Fast forward.
Awkwardly leave.
Yeah. Awkwardly take it, okay, and back out.
Slowly, not breaking eye contact.
Okay. Fast forward a few months. I am back home in Seattle in my one-bedroom apartment where I lived alone. I had put the Salem board in a box in my closet since I was waiting on a new display case and really didn't have anywhere else to put it. I have also that problem with my dolls. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, my closet had 2 sliding doors and a shelf on top of the bar where you would hang clothes. Okay. The shelf was actually pretty large, so it accommodated the box with room to spare. I had gone to bed that night and fell asleep with the TV on. I was awoken around 3 a.m. by the sound of something hitting my closet door. Wonder what it could be. I checked to make sure my ball python, Kronos, was in his cage. He's just a cute little baby.
That's
ball
cute.
pythons are the sweetest
Kronos
babies.
is a fun name.
It is a fun name. Since every time he got out, he would try and get into my closet where the hot water heater was. Oh, he's
naughty.
cold.
He's a cold boy.
I saw that he was curled up under his log and cautiously opened the closet door to see the box had fallen off the shelf and was now resting against the door. I was puzzled at this, but thought in my sleepiness that I had just not pushed it back far enough, as one does. I pushed the box back and went back to sleep. About 30 minutes later, I heard another noise coming from my closet, but this time it was much louder. When I opened my eyes, I could see that one of my closet doors had been pushed outwards.
Oh shit.
The box had fallen off the shelf again, but this time had done it with so much force it had wedged between my clothes and the door. At this point, I was becoming a bit concerned.
A bit.
Instead of putting the box back on the shelf, I placed it on the floor of my closet and shut the door. When I woke up in the morning, I turned over to grab my phone off the nightstand and saw that the closet door was wide open and the box had been pushed out into the middle of my room.
Ooh.
This board is like no one puts baby in a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do. At this point, I became concerned. Not just a little. She was like full concern.
Not just a bit.
Because like spooky shit's normal. But
Yeah,
This is super spooky.
Yeah.
This was an object with a lot of emotion attached to it, and a lot of anger and a lot of pain and suffering. I thought it best to keep it in a box and put the box in my storage unit, and then it burned down. Just kidding.
shit.
Oh my god, I thought you were serious.
No.
I was like, holy shit.
No. A few years go by, and my mom keeps bugging me to clean out some things from the unit since she needed some space for her stuff. It was in the middle of summer, and the storage unit was sweltering. There was major boob sweat going on. I was going through boxes, aimlessly tossing things into piles when I came across the box.
Ooh.
The room was suddenly freezing.
Ooh.
I took the lid off and looked down. The Salem board was sitting on top of several other Ouija boards I had acquired over the years. They had all been cracked in half down the middle.
Bruh.
All of them except the Salem board.
Oh, that's crazy.
I stared into the box, trying to comprehend what I was looking at. These boards looked like someone had broken them over their knee. Surely not the result of a box being dropped or jostled. And it's like all of them, too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just one,
Like one off,
It's-
yeah.
yeah.
All of them down the middle.
Besides the Salem boards.
Besides the Salem board.
I removed the board from the box and placed it in a wooden chest I had acquired from my great-grandmother, who had considered herself to be a witch.
Nice, Grandma.
Yeah.
Okay.
It remains in that box today. I believe there are forces in this world that we will never understand. I am sure you are wondering why I didn't get rid of the board. In a way, I feel tied to it. It called to me and I answered. I consider myself its keeper. As long as it is with me, everyone else is safe from whoever or whatever is attached to it.
I'd like to take a gander at it.
Samesies.
Yeah.
Can I holds it in my flesh mitts?
Can I touch it?
Oh,
Can I
no.
get it with my little fingies? That was a good story.
That was a
Okay.
good story.
I want it to be true so bad.
Yeah.
It
That would be
sounds
cool.
like not made up, though, is the
No,
thing.
they're
Like,
a
it
good
sounds
writer
like-
though, so
Mm.
I want it to be Johnny, and I want it. Well, he sold her the board because he was like, I'm sick of this board's bullshit. It is breaking my other boards.
Yeah.
This is not acceptable Ouija board behavior.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't think it sounds that evil.
No,
Mm-hmm.
not like bad, but
No, but it doesn't
Like
want to
cool.
be
Like
put
the
away in a
entity
fucking box.
Mhm.
Wants attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could give it attention.
Yeah.
It could sit next to Samantha.
Mm.
Yeah.
Prime location.
The thing
Yes.
is, all she's ever done is put it in a box.
Mhm.
She's never displayed it to know if that would like appease.
Never gave it any offerings. Never gave it any like honor.
Mhm.
So that Salem, or no, sorry, that's not right. Living
Living
Dead Girl
Dead Girl.
7. If you're listening, like, tell us. You gotta change this. You don't need to keep it in a box. Maybe put it out and like try appeasing
what
it.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you like
Yeah.
left offers? Have you tried like different things?
I don't think so.
And have they worked
Just
or not?
box.
Just box.
Just
Just
box.
box.
I think that
Or
might be
just
the
box.
problem.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was attached to the Salem board and you kept putting me in a box, I would have broken all your shit too and probably lit the storage unit on fire.
Especially where it like came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully someone has helped her out and has. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And if for whatever reason, like literally if you're listening to this and you want
That'd be
it
wild.
off your hands, send us an email.
We have hands.
We have hands.
We
And
can take it
emails.
off yours.
And emails.
Yeah.
seancewithmysiblings@gmail.com.
That's also where you can send your ghost stories.
That's also where you
I
can
want
send
those
your
in my
Salem
hands, too.
stories.
Yes.
Have you been to Salem? What was your favorite part? What was your favorite thing you ate?
Did you have ghost experiences?
Yeah, where
How
did you
many?
stay?
Mm-hmm.
We have a tiki-talkie.
We do have a TikTok. We have an Instagram and a YouTube
And a
Blue
Facebook.
Sky and a Tumblr and a Facebook and a website. Everything is Seance with my siblings.
Thanks everyone for
Yeah, thank you
listening.
for
You guys
listening.
are awesome. We appreciate
Yeah.
all of you hooligans who listen to us yap.
Our shenanigans and our
We are
peener talk
complete
and
peener
I'm
shenanigans.
not saying- One hump.
one hump, please.
The
not-
evil deed.
The evil deed.
The dirty deeds.
The dirty deeds.
Dirty deeds. Done dirt cheap.
I used to think it said dirty deeds and the Thunder Chief.
Thunder chief. Oh,
The
yeah.
Thunder Chief. When I was like, I think I was probably around 8 or 9 the first time I heard that song. So yeah.
Dirty deeds and the thunder cheap.
This was back when if you wanted the lyrics to a song, you had to hope that the band put them in the little flappy thing in front of the CD on a
flappy disk.
cassette tape or a record, like
Yeah, the little pamphlet that came with
Yeah.
it.
yeah. Craig's like, I don't fucking remember.
I remember that now.
But yeah, you couldn't. There was nowhere to. You couldn't look them up. There was nowhere to do that.
You couldn't look them up.
I
There was
remember,
nowhere to do that.
The Skater Boy album, like
There was a
Avril
boy.
Lavigne's like little flappy book thingy.
She was a girl.
Yeah,
It came with a little foldy poster that said Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne.
I was too old for her when she was
yeah.
popular. Like I wasn't.
I was probably too
That's
like
just what you
young.
thought. You could have listened to her.
But then I would have lost all my street cred.
Exactly.
That I
that
didn't
would
have.
not be good.
Avril Lavigne, if you're listening, I love you.
I love you.
This is our love letter to you.
Yeah. Do y'all believe in the conspiracy that
Oh my
like
God.
she's replaced
That she's been
That
replaced.
she's been, like,
That she
replaced.
died and was replaced.
and like people are all like, oh, her mole isn't in the right spot
Yeah.
or stuff like silly little things like that. Yeah.
Well, they don't know how photography works.
Yeah.
Then.
No.
And makeup and aging.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're
Yeah.
like, it's Ashley something now.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah.
I
It's
don't believe
wild.
that conspiracy.
No.
Bro, she's short though.
She is short.
She's shorter than Chantal.
Mhm.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
She's just a little teeny thing.
She's tiny.
So when I worked at Spencer Gifts, I used to do my makeup obviously different. I wore a lot of eyeliner. And I didn't have fake eyelashes. Anyway, there's these girls that came in and they were trying to find costume pieces to be Avril.
Mhm.
And one of them looks at me and she's like, "Are you Avril?" And I was like, "No. Why would Avril be working at Spencer Gifts at the Provo Town Center?"
You should have been like, yeah, I'm Canadian.
But I mean, I guess that's cool. Like, that's the only time
That's
I've ever
fun.
been mistaken for a celebrity.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
That's a fun job.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I bet it was fun.
Anyway.
it was the funnest job.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Bet.
I really have to pee.
Go piss girl.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.